Finally, the India-US trade deal is done, and the markets have also given a green signal. More than discuss about which sectors are likely to benefit, and that India has completed actually many trade deals in this 1 year. Okay, so oriented sectors are expected to see strong buying interest in trade on February 3rd after India and US announced a landmark bilateral trade deal that sharply cuts tariffs on Indian goods. Now, US President Donald Trump announced that the reciprocal tariff rate on Indian goods would be reduced from 50% to 18%, bringing India on par with other Asian exporting nations. In return, duties on American goods imported into India are expected to fall to 0%. Also, many things Trump has tweeted last night. The agreement also includes commitments on energy, technology, and agriculture trade, signaling a broader reset in commercial ties between the two countries. Now, why is the tariff cut significant? Now, earlier, 50% tariff had severely hurt Indian exports to the US, particularly in the labor-intensive sectors. It raised costs, reduced competitiveness, and led to order losses, which in turn impacted employment and investor sentiment. Steep duties also triggered the FPI selling in several export-heavy stocks. The reduction to 18% is expected to restore competitiveness, revive order flows, and potentially reverse FPI outflows. Which sectors stand to benefit most? Textiles and apparel. Nearly 32% of the sector's exports are directed to the US. Both large listed firms and smaller players faced sharp selling pressure after the 50% tariffs were imposed. The rollback is expected to revive demands. Then gems and jewelry, among the worst hit sectors, exports to the US account for about 25% of revenues for diamond polishers. Lower tariffs should improve volumes and pricing. Then marine products, shrimp exporters especially. The US accounts for nearly 48% of India's shrimp exports. Under the earlier regime, India was one of the highest taxed major suppliers, hurting competitiveness against peers. Then auto ancillaries and OEM. Higher duties had raised export costs and disrupted demand from North American OEMs and Tier 1 suppliers. The deal is expected to ease cost pressures and stabilize demand. Chemicals and agrochemicals. India exports around $4 billion worth of chemicals annually to the US. Agrochemicals, which derive about 12% sector revenues from export, face stiff competition from China. Lower tariffs improve India's relative positioning. Specialty chemicals have limited exposure at around 5% of the revenues. US deal is the fifth major trade agreement India has concluded in the past year, highlighting an aggressive push to secure market access and reduce vulnerability to global trade shocks. India-EU trade deal was signed on 27 January, just a few days ago. It eliminates or sharply reduces tariffs on around 90% of traded goods, benefiting textiles, engineering goods, marine products, and automobiles. The India-UK CETA, this was in July, provides near zero duty access on 99% of Indian exports, including textiles, leathers, engineering, and marine products. Oman CEPA, this was in December 25. Near zero tariff access over 98% of tariff lines, covering gems and jewelry, textiles, pharma, and engineering goods, along with enhanced services and investment. India-New Zealand FTA, this was also in December. Tariff liberalization on roughly 95% of traded goods, supporting exports and long-term investment. What's next? With active negotiations underway with Peru, Chile, Israel, and Eurasian Economic Union, India is positioning itself to diversify export markets and insulate its economy from global trade volatility.